on, guys? Friday night edition of the RCWR Show, covering the latest in wrestling, entertainment, and beyond since 2011. What is going on, my pretty babies? Lee Sanders here, coming at you with your special October 25th, 2019 edition of the RCWR Show. We're pretty much powering on through the weekend, y'all. Hey, man, look, I gotta tell you straight up, on a real serious tip, if we keep getting Smackdown episodes like this, I don't know, man. I think as far as doing a Friday night show, I would rather show that love more to Impact Wrestling on Tuesday nights. I'm just being honest with you guys. Tonight just really felt like it was a chore to watch SmackDown, and I haven't felt that way in quite a long time. And maybe some of you guys can maybe help me out, maybe explain why I'm kind of feeling like that, especially if you maybe are feeling that same way. I don't know, it just felt really weird tonight watching it. Ever since the whole draft thing went down, we see who all got drafted where. Many people, didn't matter where you went, social media platform wise, majority of people felt that SmackDown had got the stronger roster, and rightfully so because of everything that's going on with this Fox deal and everything. But I don't know, I really couldn't tell you. I know the SmackDown ratings hasn't been nothing to really be bragging about these past couple of weeks, and I'm most curious to see what's going on with the ratings for this week's show. I don't know if we're going to know anything about it before the weekend is out. I would imagine at the latest maybe Monday, but I mean, hey, sometimes we get a little something, so who knows, maybe we might know something tomorrow. But at this point, it's kind of safe to assume we won't know what's happening with this week's ratings until at the latest Monday. Definitely not Tuesday. I would say definitely at the latest Monday, right? But yeah, very, very weird. Now, before we dive into the talk of tonight's SmackDown, I do want to recognize you guys and give you all some mad love for going to that communities tab section over on the YouTube page. For those of you who listen to the show on demand and on the downloads, we did a poll about 2 weeks ago, was it, guys? It was a poll we did about 2 weeks ago, and we had asked everybody, hey, with regards to Friday night shows, what do you want to happen on the Friday night shows? And we gave you a couple of options. One of the picks was, yeah, man, just give me a Friday show strictly talking about SmackDown, nothing else. Another option was do it like the Monday shows, Lee, and just pretty much go all over the place, man. You know, do it like that. And then the other two options, and I'm actually looking at the other two options right now on this poll here. And you can see it for yourself because it was like one of the last things we did, and I posted this way on purpose so that you all could easily go and see the polling results. We had another option. No, it can wait until the Monday show to talk about SmackDown. And then we had another option, yes, but other WWE news too, please, right? So you have four options right there. So overwhelming at 59%, you guys had said, yeah, do a Friday show. We want more, but let it strictly be a SmackDown show. Coming in second place was yes, but other WWE news too, please. Third place was yes, but do it like the Monday show. Go all over the place, please. So I think depending, like, from time to time, if it's something maybe I did not get a chance to talk about on the Monday show and it's banging, it's got to be sizzling like that for me to even consider talking about on the Friday show. But that's the only way I will dive into some other WWE news items. Or if you all say to me, hey, Lee, you know, before you end the show, you know, WWE related, what did you think of, or what did you make of, right? And 9 times out of 10, I probably know what you're talking about. So unless you ask me and, you know, you ask for my thoughts, you want me to elaborate more on it, I think that's pretty much the only time we'll tackle into some WWE news items is when you all bring it to me to talk about. unless it's something major, like I know CM Punk had made the news recently. I would rather talk about that on the Monday show. I know. I'm a dick for that, but I'd rather wait for the Monday show for that. But I do appreciate you guys that had took the poll. But no, seriously, getting back to what I just said a few seconds ago, man. By the way, this is your SmackDown October 25th, 2019 recap here. But I got to tell you, we've been at this for only a couple of weeks with these SmackDown shows. And I know we skipped last week, rightfully so, because I was out in PA. Me and the missus just been work. We have not gotten a chance to sit down and do a wrestling with the topics, reviewing that whole experience. We're actually going to be finally sitting down and doing something this weekend now that things are finally starting to slow down and everything. But yeah, we skipped last week, and I actually did not watch SmackDown last week, so I literally went into this, okay, not aware what happened last week. I'm feeling fresh. I'm still a little bit high off of the draft thing and everything. Okay, let's see what happens. And yeah, tonight was just a so-so type of episode. It just, if you were to ask me straight up, Lee, I had an opportunity to go out on a hot date. It was either that or kick back and watch SmackDown. I would say to you, what the fuck are you thinking, first of all? Why would you not go out with a hot babe and instead be probably home alone watching wrestling? DVR that motherfucker. But no, in all seriousness, if this was a show you didn't watch yet and you're trying to figure out maybe you should go out of your way, check it out on your DVR. Maybe you didn't record it, you're trying to figure out if you should catch up on it this weekend or something like that, I would say to you, you will be just fine. You will be just fine not watching this episode. So let's go over some key notes. I don't want to go too all over the place and everything, but alright, so look. Brock Lesnar, Cain Velasquez, another confrontation here. Rey Mysterio bringing out Cain, saying, hey, Brock Lesnar, what you did to me, what you did to my son, no, you don't do that to family, and you're going to pay. Pretty much the usual promo that Rey Mysterio has been cutting ever since he's introduced Cain Velasquez to the WWE universe and everything, right? Nothing new, nothing, ooh, that's new, I literally said nothing new and ooh, nothing new. So yeah, take that for what it's worth. It's kind of like how Rey Mysterio did it. Like 1 week it's Lesnar, you're gonna pay, and then the very next week, you're gonna pay, Lesnar. You see how I just basically switched the words around? That's pretty much the same promo that we've gotten from Rey Mysterio the past couple of weeks now. What this was really about was, okay, what type of a throwdown are we gonna get between Lesnar and Velasquez, if we're even gonna get it at all? We're going to at least get some type of a tease. Officials come in there. What are we going to get? We didn't see anything like that, at least not inside of the ring. Paul Heyman, Brock Lesnar appearing via the Titantron. Heyman trying to throw little subtle hints to Rey Mysterio about guess where he and Lesnar are. Mysterio didn't feel like playing any games. Velasquez did not feel like playing any games. Finally, Lesnar just had to reveal he beat the holy crap out of Ray's son Dominic yet again, right? He got physical with his son yet again. This made Velasquez, Mysterio run backstage, try to see where he was and everything. Now, after a commercial break and all that, we come back a couple segments later. We see that Dominic is being attended to by medical staff. They're asking for respected space, everybody to kind of really get out of the room so they can do their job and everything. Mysterio, as any grieving father would be in real life, not really feeling what's going on with their son, seeing their kid in pain and all of that. Well, Brock Lesnar, timing his attacks just right, pops up out of nowhere, beats the crap out of Mysterio and Velasquez. Got a nice serious jump on both of those guys. Ends up being a F5 given to Velasquez, who crashes into Dominic. Actually on top of Dominic, if I remember right. He actually crashed on Dominic. You go over Rey Mysterio, and I got to give Brock Lesnar and Ray a lot of credit for that F5 in that segment, because the way Lesnar just darted the hell out of Mysterio tonight, I had shades of when Kevin Nash infamously put Rey Mysterio through that goddamn truck trailer
on that episode of WCW Nitro. Y'all know the infamous scene I'm talking about. Many people had said, oh, it was that moment that made Rey Mysterio famous. It was because of that little spot. That's what made him famous, because his career wasn't anything of relevance until that point. Yeah, okay, keep telling yourself that, but anyway, yeah, like I was reminded of that infamous spot there when the New World Order was going around just beating the crap out of people all throughout the freaking parking lot set and all that. You know, true story, you had people that legitimately thought what the NWO was doing that night was real and that people were legitimately being hurt, that they called police. People actually call police on the NWO, believe it or not. So I love how Brock Lesnar had did that F5 to Mysterio. Credit for Mysterio for selling the hell out of that. I mean, he took that like a champ. Like a champ. I loved it. That whole sequence was good. A couple of segments later, we saw Cain Velasquez, and shout out to Gift Skull on Twitter. We see Cain Velasquez as it's pretty much setting up the main event match, right? And our main event match had to do with key members of Hogan's team, key members of Ric Flair's team and everything. And basically it was a tag match when it was all said and done. But we see right before the main event match is underway, cameras pan to Velasquez backstage. He's, I guess, demanded a camera be pointed at him or something like that. I don't know what. But Velasquez is talking in Spanish. We only understand Brock Lesnar, and everything else is in Spanish. And I just couldn't help but look at that and just say, damn, you know, now would be a good time to pull a AOP card and put some English subtitle right up under the chest of Cain Velasquez, so we people at home will know exactly what in the blue hell he's saying. We know he wants Lesnar, but can we get the proper translation? I mean, hey, if he's using profanity in there, right, to a degree, he's using profanity or he's using some unfoul words. Oh, okay, I get that. That's fine. We don't need to see that in English subtitle, but hey, if it's not falling in that category, anything goes then. Like, let us see at home, and for the people live in attendance, let us all see the subtitle of what is being said. And I appreciate WWE now more than ever as far as the diversity goes. You've got, take your pick, whether it is Andrade, he's speaking his native tongue, Zelina Vega, she'll translate. Okay, nice little spot right there. You got Rey Mysterio. Rey Mysterio loves to be bilingual and everything, right? My family. Mi familia, right? Okay, I'm down with that. When my man Alberto Del Rio, El Patron, when he was in there, pretty much the same type of spiel and all that. Asuka, Kairi Sane, like, the list just goes on and on. AOP. That's great that now more than ever we've got this great embrace of diversity of the languages and people are able to speak their native tongue and everything. But if you want for those fans to connect even more, much like what you're doing with those great AOP segments, and you're putting in the English subtitle, there's nothing wrong with that. If you're live in attendance, depending on where you're sitting, you're not going to be able to read the text on that Titantron. You're just not. I've been to enough WWE events, and depending on where you're sitting, you can pretty much forget about it, right? More so the reason why you definitely, and I've been saying this off and on for a couple of years now, more so the reason why you got to make sure you have a English voiceover so that for the people that's live in attendance, they're going to be able to hear whatever's on the Titantron. If somebody's speaking in their native language, you're going to have an English voice actor come in, much like your Bruce Lee movies from back in the day. And not that hard at all. You just got to put in a little bit of time and a little bit of the effort. But yeah, Gift Skull basically did the translation, nice subtle way. Pretty much what Cain Velasquez was saying to Lesnar was, you're gonna die. Yeah, I'm gonna kill you. You're gonna die, right? I was like, okay, cool, good stuff, Beans. By the way, for you newer fans of Cain Velasquez, we stressed this before a couple of weeks ago, but I want to reiterate again. Y'all do know your man Cain Velasquez fluently speaks English, right? Y'all are aware of that. I just want to make sure y'all are aware of that because he He speaks it very fluently, and he can curse the whole 9 yards. He can count his money and all that shit. All right, his English is muy bueno, muy bueno. Yo hablo español, mi español poquito, okay? Poquito español, right? Cómo se son los, no. Como, como tu mierda, sí, como tu mierda, ¿A dónde es el chica en el Zuplentos? Yeah, that's about as far as I can go with my Spanish, right? But, like, seriously, that whole thing was just, I love that whole thing with Velasquez doing the assault on Mysterio and freaking Velasquez. I love what Lesnar did, and honestly, it should have just stayed right there. It should have stayed right there. If you were gonna have Velasquez cut that little promo that he had cut, I think it would have made more sense in the world if you would have had him come out during that main event match and just beat the crap out of some of the key members on Ric Flair's team. Let him beat the crap out of Sammy. Let him get his hands on Nakamura. Let him get his hands on King Corbin. And he's just belligerent. He is demanding that Lesnar come back out, right? I would love to have seen something like that come about. And then, of course, nice little protected way right here. You could have had, as a result of what Velasquez did, you could have had Team Flair win by DQ, because one could have looked at that and said, oh, Velasquez was acting on behalf of Team Hogan, which isn't the case at all, right? You could have easily ended it like that. A whole bunch of controversy, officials coming out trying to calm freaking Velasquez down and everything, let him scream into the camera, Lesnar or whatever. I think that would have been probably a bit of a better way to go off. Some of you guys could probably think of better ideas, but I don't know, that for me, that was just weak sauce on so many levels. Weak sauce on so many levels. What's up, Austin? Yeah, but other than that, just going off of, I did like the beginning of Smackdown today. I did like that. I did like seeing Hogan, love seeing Flair, some of their participants or partners that's going to be involved in that tag match coming up at Crown Jewel. And while we're talking about Crown Jewel, let's take another updated look at that card for you guys and give you guys a better update here of what's happening so far here. I think at this point we only got like maybe 3 or 4 matches that were announced. Yeah, no, we got more matches. Let me look here. Yeah, I'm reading it right. We got more matches. So your card right now for that Crown Jewel event, remember, that's going to be happening on October the 31st, Halloween night. It's going to be happening. I'm hoping that as far as when exactly that pay-per-view starts, I'm hoping it's going to be like 7 or 8 o'clock Eastern, because the past couple of years when it's come to those Crown Jewel events, I've actually had to miss work. So I'm really not interested in missing work, because I'm trying to recoup on a little bit of money that was spent for the PA trip and everything. If anybody knows the official start time for Crown Jewel this Halloween, let us know. At least that way, before we go off the air, we can try to give that information. But I might be able to tell you guys, because I'm on the WWE website right now, so I might be able to tell you. Y'all just gotta bear with me a second here, and let me see if I can pull it up. I actually am clicking on the Crown Jewel thumbnail. Eesh. Okay, so guys, yeah, Crown Jewel is going to be kicking off at 1 p.m. Eastern. Again, 1 p.m. Eastern. So if you are on the West Coast, that's basically 10 a.m. your time. And I would imagine there's probably going to be an hour pre-show. So really, 12 p.m. Eastern, 9 a.m. Pacific. So I don't know yet. I don't know if I'm going to be taking off work just yet. I don't know. I know I will be watching it. I don't know. I could do like I did last time. And what I did last year, was I remember watching the first hour and a half of Crown Jewel at work. I was multitasking, and luckily it was a slow day at the office. But I remember I was actually able to watch Crown Jewel for like the first 90 minutes, and I pretty much was able to continue it all the way until I got home. And by the time I got home, it was time for, I think, the main event match, or there was one match before the main event. And then I was able to do the broadcast for you guys. Like, I had been watching it in real time the whole time, no interruptions. So I don't know. I mean, that's kind of cutting close into the lunch hour and everything. I don't know just yet if I'm gonna be staying at work to watch this year's like I did last go round. I'll let you guys know definitely by Monday or Tuesday. I'll have my mind made up on how we're gonna be doing that. I know it's gonna be covered though. I do know that much for certain. But yeah, the card, the way it's looking right now, you got AJ Styles, who is going to be facing the Battle Royal winner singles match for the WWE United States Championship. You guys are probably like, wait a minute, Battle Royal, what are you talking about? There's going to be a 20-man Battle Royal at Crown Jewel, and the winner of that faces AJ Styles for that U.S. title on the Crown Jewel event. Seth Rollins defends his Universal Championship against the Fiend, Bray Wyatt. Here's a stipulation that's been added. Falls Count Anywhere match. The match cannot be stopped for any reason. I repeat, the match cannot be stopped for any reason. So that kind of follows up on what we had got at the Hell in a Cell pay-per-view, does it not? And then you've got that 9 tag team turmoil tag match for the WWE World Cup. Velasquez takes on Brock Lesnar for the WWE Championship. Strowman takes on Tyson Fury. And then you got Team Hogan taking on Team Flair. Now, absent tonight from Team Hogan, you did not have Ricochet. And who else was missing? I'm trying to see who else. Just Ricochet, it looks like, was missing. Over on Team Flair, there was no Randy Orton. There was no Bobby Lashley. And there was no Drew McIntyre. But in their respective places, technically, you had Cesaro. Always good to see my man, freaking Cesaro. Cesaro is the freaking man. And yeah, it was pretty good, the opener there between Ric Flair, Hulkster. Flair kind of coming off as though he's still, whatever he was drinking Monday night, he still had that in his system going into Friday. I was loving his energy. And I tell you what, I really do not like the teases of, hey, Justin, what's up, buddy? Yeah. See, Justin, you know exactly what I'm talking about the Crown Jewel. Justin saying, I don't get off until 2 p.m., so I only missed the first 90 minutes. It's tricky. It really is tricky. I mean, it's so easy for most of us, depending on how we're set up. I work in the office, so I got my own office. I got my own chair and all that good stuff, so it's kind of like, but I feel bad when I do that because I'm supposed to be very productive at work. And, you know, if my bosses knew that that's what I'm doing on the clock, I'm sure I wouldn't hear the end of it, right? So I don't know yet. We'll figure it out, though. I don't know. It depends. I think if it's really, really slow, then, you know, it just depends. I'll figure it out. But yeah, that was a nice little opener for SmackDown and everything. Both teams taking shots at each other. Hogan's looking pretty damn good, man. I mean, this was really the first time I've really been able to sit down and really pay attention to the Hulkster. I know he's popped up other times, but I kid you not, I really wasn't looking at him like that. And I got to give the Hulkster a lot of credit. I know he is still under that microscope for a lot of people. He can go to all the Boys and Girls Clubs. He can win the Nobel Peace Prize. He can be hooking up with Bono for Project Red. He could be doing all kinds of shit, right? People will look at him a certain way forever as a result of that controversy that went down. And I find it interesting, to each its own, but I don't want to open that up and then it's a rabbit hole we can't come out of. But I think it's so interesting that No, not what he had told his son, Nick Hogan, during that whole, what should have been a private family meeting there between him and his son, and what he had said about that poor kid that was Nick's friend involved in that automobile accident and everything. Nah, that wasn't what would have people say, screw the Hulkster. It wasn't that. No, no, no. Or the many lies that the Hulkster has told over the years. My favorite one, Metallica, was the apparently Hulk Hogan was almost the original bass player for Metallica, and that was like news to fucking Metallica. They like, no, we never jammed with him, we never rehearsed with him. Maybe he came to a party, sure, but like, no, he wasn't there when we were talking about getting a band together. No, right? None of that. That definitely wasn't it. You would think, okay, well, for sure, the sex tape. The sex tape is what is definitely gonna do it for the Hulkster. And oh man, he's cheating on Linda. What the hell? No, wasn't that. It would be that other stuff. It would be that other stuff where people just kind of drew the line and they haven't came back since. My whole thing is, if you're going to be treating a particular individual a certain way, be consistent no matter what. Like, there is no such thing as one wrong. Oh, that's small compared to this one. I don't think so. I don't think so. To each its own. But anyway, he looked good. This is the point that I was making. He looked pretty good. Looks to be in great shape. I remember a Hulkster from about, seems like a Hulkster from maybe about a year ago, maybe a year and a half ago. He was big, wasn't he? And I don't mean in a muscular type of way. He looked like he was picking up some serious weight. He did not look like the Hulkster we've all grown up as. He was looking, I don't want to say fat, but he definitely, I think y'all would be in agreement, he definitely was pretty pudgy. So to see him almost back in that shape that we've become accustomed to over the years, I really hope that when it's all said and done, we don't see another Hulkster match. I know the dirt sheets love their whole clickbaiting, and that's something that has a lot of people talking. I hope we're not really going down that path. I mean, look, real talk here. I just don't see WWE. Yeah, Ric Flair, Hulk Hogan, how about some Saudi Arabia money? Come on, one more match. I don't see that happening. The Crown Prince himself can demand that match and put all the money out there in the world. I just don't see that happening. I just don't. I think even for WWE, they're going to be like, I would really be shocked. I mean, everybody has a price, but I would really be shocked, especially after all the health problems that Flair has had over the years. I'd like to believe that's the last thing they want to do is have Ric Flair put on the boots one more time and all that, and technically die in the ring. I don't think. Now, of course, Ric Flair probably would not die in the ring, but I just don't think they would want to even entertain that idea, knowing that something weird could happen live in front of an audience and all that, right? So I'm not really seeing any of that happening, unfortunately. But I mean, if one more match for Hogan was in the cards, that brings up a good question. I think that's a good question we should ask here on this show and let it continue on going into Monday's show, depending on the volume of feedback we get. And I'll actually pose this question on our social media outlets as well, which is, if the Hulkster was to come out of retirement for one more match, just one more match under the WWE umbrella, this is it. There is no, well, let's see how this one match goes and then we'll go from there. If you could see Hulk Hogan come back for one more match, who would it be against? Who would you want it to be against? Get the conversation going. And like I said, we'll have the thread posted all throughout social media, including our Facebook page. Shout out to you guys that have liked the Facebook page and been following it. I see now we're up to about almost 3,120 followers of the Facebook page for the show page. Appreciate that. Thank you. Let's keep it rocking and rolling, man. Awesome Con is right around the corner, man. Speaking of which, I got a special announcement I got to make in just a hot second. Let's talk a little bit more SmackDown first, though. Other key things here tonight. We did see New Day New Day had lost to Dolph Ziggler and Robert Roode. Remember, Xavier Woods, he is out for a couple of weeks, storyline wise. He's out for a couple of weeks. It's a pretty good tag match there. Once again, I got to be consistent here because WWE may have forgot, but old man Lee Sanders did not forget. I seem to remember a time where one of those guys from the New Day, I can't quite put my finger around the name of the person. I know he's a black dude, but all the guys in New Day are black. I can't quite put my name on the guy's name, but I remember he used to be a WWE World Heavyweight Champion. And ever since he lost that title to Brock Lesnar, he's just been going out there shucking and jiving and throwing pancakes, big old smile on his face and everything like that. And I've yet to see some type of a interview segment where he's addressed losing that championship to Brock Lesnar. And I'm sorry, I love you guys, but if somebody comes at me with, Lee, he talked about that in a WWE.com exclusive, I will say to you, not everybody is flocking to the websites, the app, to see what he had to say. It's got to be on TV. If I'm like this, if you're going to have the brother lose the championship on live TV, least thing you can do is give him an interview segment on live TV where he explains what all had went down. So it's almost like never happened. Have no recollection of that particular memory. No, sorry, never happened. So, for me, WWE can act like it never happened, but I'm still remembering, and this, for me, just, at least give me a segment where Big E, just a little subtle nod, Big E says to freaking Kofi, hey, Kof, man, look, I know your head is still in that zone from a couple of weeks ago. Brock Lesnar, the ride of your life, man. You were the WWE champion and all that. I know you still got some unfinished business and everything, but hey, man, look, brother to brother, I know you could be focusing on that other stuff right now, but man, sincerely, I appreciate you helping me out right now and, trying to see if we can take these tag belts away from freaking Ziggler and Roode. If we can get these away, that'd be a nice little homecoming for Xavier once he comes back from his injury and everything. And hey, we appreciate it. We're going to look out for you in your quest to become a 2-time World Heavyweight Champion, right? Just give me some type of a subtle touch. Give me something. Give me a crumb. Give me something. Give me something. Just anything. Anything. Give me some acknowledgement that Kofi was the WWE champion and that he did lose it to Brock Lesnar and that he does want to get back to that mountaintop. I say, yeah, get back to that mountaintop. We're gonna fight. We're gonna fight tooth and nail. We're gonna reach on. We're gonna reach high. We're gonna reach above the clouds. We're gonna reach above the stars. We're gonna reach above the universe. We're gonna reach above the cosmos. We're gonna reach above the galaxies. We're gonna reach above the Milky Ways. We're gonna reach above all of the universe to become the WWE champion again. At least give me some type of acknowledgement. That's all. That's all I want. Just a little crumb. Just a little piece of a crumb. We're not going to get that. So I have to move on, sadly. As you all will have to move on. Because apparently, it's a painful wound. And it's a blemish in history that apparently WWE does not want for us to talk about right now. It really makes you wonder that when that next round of updated WWE Championship, the book, yearly. It's a yearly thing. You get the history of the WWE Championship, and it pretty much new little chapters, new entrants, and all that other stuff. I'm very curious what the chapter of Kofi Kingston is going to say. I'm most curious. Other SmackDown action tonight. See what we got going on here. Drew Gulak taking on Kalisto. Pretty much a squash match here. Kalisto defeating Drew Gulak. I mean, this was just wasn't even a 2-minute match, man. Wasn't even pretty much this was your piss break when it was all said and done. Now look, big man Braun Strowman. He made his presence felt in this matchup here because after it was all said and done with, because Kalisto he had hit the Salida del Sol to pin Gulak. Braun Strowman came out, pretty much power slammed the hell out of Gulak, and had cut a promo on Tyson Fury, basically saying, "Hey, this is your fate. This is what's gonna happen to you. You definitely are gonna get these hands, come Crown Jewel and everything." Michael Cole was set up to interview Daniel Bryan next. Cole had asked him about the rough few months that he's had, fans turning on him and everything, and how everything culminated with Daniel Bryan teaming up with Roman Reigns. Is it possible that Daniel Bryan has now seen a new change of faith, if you will? Is it possible that Daniel Bryan could be resurrecting the Yes Movement? Well, before he could even answer that question, Sami Zayn, Nakamura came out. Sami Zayn given his hardest pitch, and I think as far as hard pitches go, it's fascinating, and the timing is perfect because we do have November elections coming up and everything. So we have Sami Zayn making his hardest pitch to have Daniel Bryan align himself with he and Nakamura because how soon we forget the fans had turned on the new Daniel Bryan. They didn't like him, and that Daniel, hey, remember that feeling you had when you stopped caving to the fans, when you stopped catering to them and you gave into your own needs and your own wants. You look at how everything ended up for you. You became the WWE champion as a result. Remember that? And basically it was a pitch of, with you, me, Shinsuke, we'd be an unstoppable force. And I got to tell you, I know you all did as well. I raised a mighty strong eyebrow at the thought of those three guys being a team. I love that idea. That would be, if that's your way of countering the OC, yeah, I kind of like that. I really do. Just don't get overkill and make it be a whole Twix thing. You know what I'm saying? Well, left Twix is doing this over here. Right Twix, we need to be doing this over here then, since left Twix is doing, like, don't be all overkill with it. But I really like that idea on paper. And by the way, while we're talking about Sami Zayn, I don't know how many of you wrestling fans out there are big Sami Zayn fans. If it don't apply to you, but you know somebody that is a Sami Zayn fan, then hip them to this. But Sami Zayn has worked on a really cool limited time deal with the Pro Wrestling Tees store. And for a limited time, you can go on the Pro Wrestling Tees site and you can get a special shirt. And this shirt kicks mega ass. It's basically Sami Zayn versus Il Generico. And you guys got to go out of your way and you got to see the designs yourself. It's pretty badass. I like it. It's almost like you're watching a boxing match. When you look at the images, you got Generico on one side, Sami Zayn on the other. You see the age, which is both the same, the height, both the same, weight, both the same, debuts, both the same, finishing moves. It gives all that information. It's really, really cool. And you can get that shirt for $30. And the best part about that shirt is that you can, all the proceeds for that shirt, 100% of it will be going towards Sammy for Syria. So how about that? 100% of profits. So Sammy sees no profits from this. Pro Wrestling Tees see no profits of this. 100% goes strictly to Sami Zayn's Sammy for Syria. So check that out when you guys get a chance. It's for a limited time at the Pro Wrestling Tees store. It had just launched today. So check that out when you guys get a chance. Good stuff right there. Very, very, very good stuff. Give me a second here. I got Seth. Shout out to Seth. Seth is saying, since Crown Jewel is next Thursday, I wanted to give a heads up that I will be collecting picks. Right? Okay, cool. All right, Seth, I got you, buddy. Hang in there. All right. Let's talk a little bit more about SmackDown. Actually, you know what? Let's pause on some more SmackDown because we only got a couple more matches I want to cover. I got to give a nod to our one and only sponsor. I'm keeping it simple for you guys tonight here on the show. I got one sponsor that I want to give a acknowledgement to, and that is Gym Junkie. So I want you guys to check out this ad, and then once it's done, we could definitely continue on with the rest of the show. Let me load this up for you. It's just about 45 seconds, our one and only ad break. And then I do want to get into some Patreon shout outs as well. And then we'll pretty much wrap things up with the talk of SmackDown. And like I said, if there's any WWE related news you want me to get into, like before this live stream is over and you're checking this out via the chat or via Discord, post your WWE question and, you know, we can pretty much get into it that way. Otherwise, we'll definitely wrap it up after we get done with the talk of SmackDown. But let me go ahead and let this ad play with Gym Junkie. If I'm fumbling at the mouth, I just got some new aligners in literally yesterday, so I'm still breaking these bad boys in. Usually after about 2-3 days, I'm good to go. So I appreciate y'all's patience as I am trying very hard to not fumble that much with my words. But let's let this ad play for you guys.
It's time to rock your next workout in style with Gym Junkie. Gym Junkie is more than just a brand, it's a lifestyle. Check out their awesome tees, totes, bags, phone cases, and more, all centered on your love of living in the gym. Whether you work out hard or keep things simple, working out in the gym is a huge part of your life, and that is something you are proud of. Wear your pride and show off your gym physique in clothes and accessories from Gym Junkie. Follow them on Instagram at MyGymJunkieApparel and visit their website, GymJunkieApparel.com. Enjoy free shipping on orders over $50. GymJunkieApparel.com. Believe, accomplish, achieve. You either are or you're not. GymJunkieApparel.com.
Also, while you're showing some love to Gym Junkie, make sure you give them a follow on Instagram as well, because they do have the Instagram and they love those follows on Instagram. You could check them out at My Gym Junkie Apparel. Again, on Instagram at My Gym Junkie Apparel. Also, you guys will hear the ad tomorrow. I struggle big time with this one ad ever since I got my Invisaligns here. Certain things I used to be able to say easily without any problems ever since I got my Invisaligns, and anybody that's had the treatment before knows exactly what I'm talking about. Certain things that you say, you struggle to say, and you have to learn how to say it again, you know, because you basically have like a mouth guard, essentially almost 24/7, right? Because you got to wear these at least 22 to 24 hours a day, right? You know, if you're going to take them out, you can do like a 1 hour or at most a 2 hour gap, but you're really, for maximized effect, you're supposed to be having them in your mouth for 22 to 24 hours. So in my particular case, results may vary for some, but in my particular case, certain words that normally no issues whatsoever saying, I now struggle to say them. There was this one client I was working with. I was recording her ads for like off and on the past 2 days, and I struggled like a mother to pronounce her name. And finally, I just had to break down, and I had to say to her, look, this is what's going on. I would so love it if you could introduce yourself. You know, you put all the audios, you record. I will splice it all up. I'll clean it up. I'll hook it up. We'll have you sounding awesome. Let them hear from you directly, because I'm struggling with some of the things you want me to say here. And she was such a sweetheart. She actually went on ahead and did that. So, and she didn't have to do that. It was totally cool. She could have just said, nah, that's okay. I'm going to go in a different direction. You know, I'll try you once you get those things out. Or no, she was such a freaking sweetheart. And I love that. It's nice to know that there's really cool, kind people out there that definitely are compassionate, understanding, all that good stuff. So I'm looking forward to sitting down, splicing that all up together. For you guys that's going to be checking out the WoW recap tomorrow night, you all will hear her. Her name is Ahvaha. And I know I'm butchering that because the way she said it, it was like, oh man, that just rolls off your tongue so pretty. And it should, because it's your name. It's what you were born with. So you do know how to say your own name. But for a guy that's struggling with aligners, you know, I might be able to say it right the first time, but tell me to repeat it like 10, 15 fucking times. Yeah, good luck with that, partner. Shout out to some of our Patreon members. Patreon.com/RCWR Show. Get access to bonus audio and video content, great majority of which you won't be able to find anywhere else. By the way, if you missed it, you missed it. I did do a 3-hour broadcast. And shout out to Mish. Who else had Celric? A few other people had Gunna. I think it was Gunna. A few people had stopped by the... Oh, yeah, Justin, you too. Had stopped by the Twitch stream. And I was given the whole walkthrough of everybody's stats in 2K, showing their skins, all that shit. It was hilarious. I wish I could say to you guys it was available on demand. I don't know if it was a 2K thing, call it conspiracy theory or what, but anytime I've done a Twitch broadcast, it's automatically saved as an archived broadcast, meaning you can go on my channel at any time and you can see it. Well, this one was not saved, so it was, well, what the fuck is going on? And I double checked my settings. My settings were there. It was still the same as it was before. Couldn't quite figure out what was going on. I reached out to Twitch support. And as you all know, Amazon now owns Twitch. So I went through Amazon to try to... And their whole thing was, oh, you're not a Prime member. That's the problem. You're not a Prime member. I said, wait a minute. One of my friends does Twitch videos all the time. Excuse me. And he's not a Prime member whatsoever. And his broadcasts are archived. He has no problem. So, no, try again. I told him that straight up. I said, try again. Like, I'm not spending blah, blah, blah dollars for Prime membership. Like, forget that. And then they tried to backpedal. And basically they were like, they tried to transfer me to somebody like 3 times. And they were obsessed with getting my phone number. And I said, wait a minute. If I wanted to talk to somebody on the phone, I would pick up my phone and I would call somebody. It's like, I don't want to talk to anybody on the phone, which is why I'm doing the chat box. Like, I just want to talk to somebody in a chat box. Like, I don't understand why you guys keep transferring me. And I remember after I bust them out about the whole Prime thing, the next thing that they had said was, oh, just make sure that your automatically saved broadcast is checked. I was like, you're not listening. I already told you I did this. I checked it. Everything was good. I said, you know what? Don't worry about it. I'll figure it out myself. So I just unchecked, logged out, logged back in, rechecked it, tried doing a test video, and that seemed to have done the trick. But oh yeah, that 2K20 game, I just find it hilarious that everybody is in an uproar over how bad this game is, you know, the glitches and blah this and blah that, and it's like, welcome to video games in like fucking 2019, people. I'm sorry, did you all miss the fucking memo? Practically every video game that is out there in some shape or form, there needs to be some type of a patch given for that game to address some issues, right? Why you think I've always, for years, and longtime listeners know this, I've said for years, hey, if you can wait 2 months, 3 months, do it. do it. Wait the 2 to 3 months, because then you'll have yourself a polished game that you can properly enjoy, right? No problem with that. But we're in this society where everybody's got to be among the first. They got to be the first among their peers, the first among their friends and all that to, hey, I'm trying out the new shit. Yeah, check me out and all that other shit. No different than the cell phones, the tablets, the TVs, all that shit. And then motherfuckers want to get mad when I can proudly tell you guys, I dropped my $60 down. Now, first off, and y'all got to give me mad props for this, I went from almost $200 for the SmackDown 20th WWE 2K20 edition. I talked myself out of that to getting the deluxe edition and just spending $90 for it. And I'm happy I did that. And I also bought that game saying, hey, you put your money down, so whatever problems are in this game, you're a veteran gamer, you know better. You said it for years, you know better, so don't bitch. Don't bitch when you see the problems for yourself. And you can go on my social media feeds, I didn't bitch not one time. If anything, everything I'm telling you guys right now, this is something that most games these days on these next gen consoles, and then even before the next gen consoles, like, there's always been some type of an issue with these games, and not the 2K itself, just games in general. There's always been some type of a patch to address whatever. And you know, kudos to 2K. And like I told people, I said 2K, they're veterans. When it comes to putting a patch out there, they're gonna address it. People just need to have patience. Go play another game, circle on back once they've done what they've needed to do. Sure enough, they released a statement. What was it? The statement was released earlier today, was it not? Basically saying they're working on the patch diligently. They're hoping that the patch will be out in the next 2 weeks. Guaranteed in the next 2 weeks. Now, understand something, people. Understand something. When you have a publisher / game developer say that a patch is being worked on and it's going to be released, I want you guys to understand something, because this is the biggest misconception that happens in the gaming industry that a lot of people still are not hip to, right? Let's say in this instance, let's continue to stick with WWE 2K20, right? Let's say these next 2 weeks, right? They, true to their word, they work on this patch. Now, let's say that, what's today? The 25th? So let's just say they finish the patch on November the 8th, okay? Now, if you know how it is with Microsoft, Sony, and a couple of other outlets, usually that first Tuesday is when a patch is going to roll out. Either it's going to be Tuesday or Thursday that week that a patch is going to roll out. However, what if there's a delay? What if you got, in this case, 2K saying, oh yeah, the patch is going to go live for you guys 4 a.m. Tuesday, November 5th. And November 5th comes and goes. Now you're going to have people that are going to be up in an uproar. Well, understand something. In this case, 2K, they've done their part in making the patch, and they've given the patch respectfully to Sony, to Microsoft, to insert whoever. Those guys, it's now their responsibility to release that patch. It's now out of 2K's hands. They've patched it. They've done everything. They've addressed all the issues. Now it's up to Sony or Microsoft or insert here to hit that live button. It's a matter of just hitting the switch so that it can syndicate and people can download that patch, do what they need to do, right? So they may have said 2 weeks, but I think you guys need to be better prepared and entertain the idea that it could be 3 weeks, possibly a month, right? I'm giving you guys that real tip. And Justin knows exactly what I'm talking about. Take, for example, because he pointed out in the chat, the new Call of Duty. He said the servers were down last night. And 9 times out of 10, they probably were doing some routine maintenance. I know one of the last times I tried to play the Division 2. And it's funny too because I recently did a market research study for the division, and one of the things that was talked about from some of the respondents I had spoke to was, how they liked the game, and they noticed a few key issues though. And I remember telling them, yeah, they had actually put out a patch for that, yada yada yada. And some of these people, they weren't even aware that the game had so many bugs in it and all of that. So just kind of have that in the back of your mind. Also, shout out to Edge. I don't know how many guys were aware of this, but and then thank God I did not buy the 2K20 20th Smackdown Anniversary Edition. But how many of y'all had heard about this? Apparently, in that particular edition, you're supposed to get one of 3 signed autographs from either Rey Mysterio, Edge, or Kurt Angle. And for a lot of those editions, there was nothing. There was no autograph. And so you had people that were legitimately pissed off. And leave it up to WWE Hall of Famer Edge. Edge actually had said, look, anybody that private messages me, shows me proof that they have bought that SmackDown 20th Anniversary Edition and you did not get your autograph, I will personally mail you an autograph. And I complimented the hell out of him on social media for that kind act, because it really was. Because, I mean, when you really stop and think about that, he doesn't have to do that. His responsibilities ended the moment that he was paid, and probably paid quite handsomely, to sit down over the course of weeks, going into maybe like 2 months or whatever, 3 months at most, and John Hancock, right? So he's done his part. That is on the fault of the publishing people, right? That's on them for that fuck up. So the fact that he was willing to step up to the plate like that and do his part to help out, I think that's just a total. It's one of those things where if you had already messed with Edge in the past, it's one of those things where you go, man, this guy really is totally fucking cool. Like how cool of a act is that? How cool of a dude is that for somebody to do that? Most people would be like, don't matter to me, I got my money, right? So nice, cool stuff right there. Nikki Cross, getting back to SmackDown. Nikki Cross had defeated Mandy Rose. Yeah, I like this match actually. I wish it actually had went a little bit longer. I wish it would have went about 10 minutes longer. And by the way, awesome seeing Mandy Rose tonight, because, and I'm not exaggerating, I don't need people calling me sexist or calling me mean-spirited or anything like that. You can go on my Twitter timeline and you can see the image yourself. Of all the skins in WWE 2K20, Mandy Rose's skin is one of the worst. When you look at that skin of hers, it looks like a coked out Courtney Love back when she was fucking around with Kurt Cobain. That's how bad it looks. Like you don't even recognize. You go, wait a minute, this is supposed to be Mandy Rose? You're like, how you gotta see it for yourself. So I was just ecstatic to see the real deal tonight, man. Look, Mandy Rose, that is somebody that, to kind of borrow from the Ultimate Warrior, load the rocket ship up, right, with the space fuel or whatever. Like, I need to see Mandy Rose reach newer heights already. I've been waiting patiently, and I'm gonna make a bold prediction right now. I haven't done a bold prediction in a good minute. I'm gonna say 2020 is gonna be the year of Mandy Rose. I feel it in my bones. I can feel it in my soul. No, I'm not feeling it in other places, you dirty perverts. But legitimately, I think Mandy Rose is going to have a big breakout year. I really, really do. And I think 2020 is going to be it for her. And, I'll go even a step further than that by saying this. Whenever WWE does decide they want to do another Evolution pay-per-view, I've got Mandy Rose. I could see her in a really good matchup, a one-on-one matchup. I think what Mandy Rose needs to really help take her to that next level, not so much so being partners with Sonya Deville. It almost, for me at least, it feels like it's getting to that point where it's about time to split Sonya and Mandy up, and I think they both will do quite well. Did anybody see the Sonya Deville backstage promo that she had cut on Becky Lynch recently? It dropped like this week. I mean, she is making leaps and bounds of improvement, and I think it's cool that now people are finally starting to come around on Sonya Deville and everything, right? Because I've been a fan of hers almost since like the jump and everything, way before this whole LGBTQ stuff was talked about and all that. I was already a fan of her stuff. So, but yeah, Mandy Rose, I'm definitely seeing nothing but, she's got like all the elements there of a Trish Stratus, and for me, I find it weird that everybody was going dream match Trish Stratus taking on Alexa Bliss, and it's like, yeah, I get the comparisons and all that, I do, but nah, that really should have been saved for somebody like a Mandy Rose. I personally feel. But to each its own. But yeah, Mandy needs that one key. I think what's missing for her and taking her to that next level, she's missing that one marquee feud that could definitely help put her on that next tier. And I don't know where that's going to come from. I don't know if maybe that is going to come from facing a Bayley. Even if she comes up short. I don't know if maybe it's a Bayley, or if it's a Sasha Banks, or if maybe it needs to be a WWE legend, like maybe a Beth Phoenix, or maybe a Lita, right? Or if somehow the stars can align and it ends up happening, if you could somehow maybe have AJ Lee back into the mix or whatever. I don't know what it's going to take, but definitely that seems, for me at least, to be that one thing, that one ingredient missing for Mandy Rose to go to that next level. But I mean, when you just really take a step back and you just look at things from just the PR standpoint, she nails it. When you look at everything from the marketing standpoint, she nails it. I mean, that is the type of person you want representing your company. That's the type of person you want to push out there to the forefront as much as humanly possible. So I'm expecting big things to happen for her going into 2020. See, we already told you about Brock and Kane, so we can go over that. Your main event match, which was a 15-minute match, it had Ali, Gable, Roman Reigns taking on King Corbin, Nakamura, and Cesaro. Team of Ali, Gable, Roman Reigns defeating King Corbin, Nakamura, and Cesaro. Came in via pinfall. Pretty good main event match to wrap up SmackDown for this week. I mean, really, if there were two pieces of elements, really three, if you stop and think about it, really three elements that made you even want to stick around for SmackDown. The main event match, for sure. And then also seeing what was going to go down there between Brock and Kane. My third one, though, definitely got to give it up to the Bray Wyatt segment, return of the Firefly Funhouse segment. And, look, I know people were a little bit upset about Chad Gable and his name changing, going to Shorty G and everything. But, this is what I will say to you people. And I will follow up. This is my challenge for you, those of you that are a bit rattled by that. This is my challenge to you all. Go out of your way and check out, I believe his name is Justin Bizzarro for Sports Illustrated. Go check out a great article that he did. There was basically an interview he had conducted with Chad Gable. And they addressed the whole Shorty G and everything. I found it to be very insightful. And I found some of the things that Chad had to say. His position about being a legit amateur pro wrestler and everything, and making the transition into sports entertainment. Go out of your way this weekend. It's about, at most, a 7-minute read, if even that. 10 minutes if you're pussyfooting around. Go out of your way and read that. And what I'll do is I'll follow up and I'll offer some more thoughts on Chad Gable, and particularly that interview and everything on Monday's show. But if you haven't checked it out, go out of your way, check that out. Yeah, you know, the Firefly Funhouse segment, it really wasn't much to sink your teeth into, but it was awesome to see it was back. Probably what was on my mind the most was, okay, so is it going to be a new set design? What exactly is going to be different this go round, or is it going to be back to business as usual? And it was pretty much business as usual. And I think by now WWE knows, to their credit, that of all the characters that's part of that Firefly Funhouse, that Ramblin Rabbit is the one that people gravitate towards the most. That's the character that everybody just... I gotta say, I love Ramblin Rabbit. I don't know what it is. He seems very approachable. I'm describing how I feel personally. He just seems very approachable. He seems pretty cool. That, of all the sidekicks, that's the character that feels very complete. You feel where I'm coming from? Like, I can't really describe it any more than that. Whereas, when it comes to Husky the Pig, Husky's okay. You know, that's my second favorite. Husky has his moments, you know. Tonight was no exception. You know, they're all at the freaking eulogy for Ramblin' Rabbit before he's resurrected. And the only thing, basically, Husky the Pig can focus on is the damn carrot cake. And that sounds like my big ass, because when my birthday comes around, there's only one type of cake I will even entertain eating all year round. All year round, and I only want that cake once a year and always on my birthday. I want carrot cake. I don't want no goddamn... I'm like Elmer Fudd in that grilled cheese, if you please. I don't want no Brussels sprouts. You know that song. Don't give me no chocolate cake, because I'll throw it in your face, right? Don't give me no freaking red velvet cake with white frosting, because I'll spit on it, right? And I'll step all on it, right? I don't want that, right? No, give me some carrot cake. And I don't want any of your goddamn piece of carrot cake. No. Some of you may be saying, what about pound cake, Leek? That's some really fine pound cake. Van Halen, look it up. Pound cake. Don't care for pound cake. I'm picky about my carrot cakes. I don't like my carrot cakes to be overkill on the sweet side, meaning it tastes very sugary. But at the same time, I don't want my carrot cake to taste very bland. You know what I'm saying? I don't want that. I need a nice in the middle. You know, EM knows what I'm talking about. Velvet cake, yeah, I hate red velvet cake. I each its own. Everybody got their own favorite cakes, but for me, my kryptonite, I gotta have a nice piece of carrot cake. And I envied the hell out of Husky the Pig tonight. Husky the Pig had a nice big old piece of carrot cake, and I'm just looking at him going, you lucky motherfucker. There were a couple of times my girl had looked at Husky and she was like, what is that, mud around his face? I said, no. That's a candy bar. Apparently he was tearing up a candy bar and he's got the chocolate around his mouth. But yeah, you could look at that as mud. She's like, oh, okay, but it's chocolate. I'm like, yeah, it's chocolate around his mouth. So those are the two strongest characters that I like from the Firefly. I don't care about the Mercy the Buzzard. And I think a large part of that has to do with a lot of times whenever he speaks, it's very incoherent. Right? And now you see it's just gotten to that point where whenever Mercy the Buzzard does act, he's usually tearing the shreds Ramblin' Rabbit, which I find that hilarious. And that's my challenge to WWE. Do that like on an every week or bi-weekly basis. Try to figure out new ways you can have Mercy the Buzzard fuck up Ramblin' Rabbit. I think that would just be a nice, fun running gag in itself. But yeah, to see Bray Wyatt do the eulogy, and then somehow Ramblin' Rabbit comes back to life once again, right? At least this time, we got to see, from a magical perspective, Ramblin' Rabbit comes back. Any other time, you just, Ramblin' Rabbit's dead, and you get the freaking rest in peace meme. But then you go to Raw the next week, and Ramblin' Rabbit, dude, stranger danger, dude. You know, and it's like, wait a minute, weren't you just killed last week? What? And you just popped up like it ain't fucking nothing? Like, what the hell, right? So I thought it was cool how they resurrected him this week. And Bray Wyatt's all happy, but you're kind of looking at Bray going, okay, Bray's happy, but is he gonna do something kind of? And it turns out, no, it wasn't him. He's the good guy this go around. It's actually Mercy the Buzzard, and it's like Ramblin Rabbit gone yet again, right? At least until next week. So it was nice to see that it's basically business as usual on the Firefly Funhouse. This whole wild card shit is still in effect. I don't care what you tell me. You can say to me all up and down, Lee, separate rosters now. Raw got their thing. SmackDown's got their own thing. You can tell me that till you're blue in the face, but when it's all said and done, look at what you currently got going on right now. You've got Seth Rollins that's going to be facing Bray Wyatt for this Universal Championship at Crown Jewel, right? And I would love it if there was a swerve. I would love it if there was a swerve and Bray gets the title. And it's like, wait a minute. So Raw has no champion, right? So you got two champions on SmackDown. What the hell, right? And I find it so interesting that as we get closer to Crown Jewel, the commentators, the WWE writers, have yet to say, hey, man, do you think the guys over on Raw, if you're watching SmackDown, hey, do you think the guys over on Raw are a little bit nervous because with this Crown Jewel pay-per-view coming up, you know, Bray Wyatt is now exclusive to SmackDown. If he wins that championship, what do you think that means? Does that mean he's exclusive to SmackDown? Or does that mean he's going to be defending the title on Raw and SmackDown? Like, what does that mean exactly, right? And for me, being a stickler to detail, how do you miss something like that and not address it? And then flip it on back to the Raw side of things. Hey, I know we got this Crown Jewel pay-per-view event coming up. Seth definitely, he's got to try to get his head in check and he's got to stay focused because there's a lot that Seth could be losing here. You know, Seth, if he loses this title, it's possible until we get clarification from upper management, it's possible that title may be exclusive to SmackDown. You got to do it like that. And I don't understand how less than a week out, really, when you stop and think about it, this match wasn't announced, what, maybe about 2 weeks ago or some shit like that this was happening. And nobody has thought about going in on any of those areas. Now, either they're thinking, well, let's let it be silent because we want to maybe throw a swerve at people. Or it's a possibility that they just are so focused on the match and doing their thing at Saudi Arabia, doing the Crown Jewel thing, that they haven't even thought about the fine details like that. Just mind-boggling when you just really stop and you think about it. And then Cain Velasquez. Okay, 1 minute we see Cain Velasquez. He actually no. Let's pause on Cain Velasquez. Let's home in on Rey Mysterio. 1 minute we got Rey Mysterio on Raw, and then we got Rey Mysterio going on SmackDown. And it's like, well, wait a minute now. Wait a minute. Which show you going on, dog? Like, we supposed to have separate brands and all that other shit. Now, somebody can counter and say, yeah, but Ray, he's kind of like the mouthpiece / translator for Cain Velasquez, and that's kind of why he's, you know, kind of bouncing around and everything like that. I still don't like it. You feel where I'm coming from? I still don't like it one little bit. And then look at what you got with Braun Strowman and Tyson Fury. You know, that's another one. You know, all of these cross-branding, you can tell me till you're blue in the face, separate brands, but I'm not liking what's going on right now. I will try to give WWE the benefit of doubt. I don't want to sound like I'm just coming down hard. I will give WWE the benefit of doubt, and I will go in a direction of, let's see what happens after Crown Jewel is over. Can you guys not resort to somehow having key people intertwine? Can you have two distinct rosters going into potentially a co-branded pay-per-view or what? I definitely don't think we're going to be doing the 2 pay-per-views a month. I don't think we can forget about that. That was pretty tasking, very exhausting too, especially for us podcasters. So I don't see WWE wasn't that much money to be made anyway, based off of the numbers they had shared a couple of years ago when they were still doing that. So I don't see WWE going into that, but if they're going to continue to do these co-branded pay-per-views, I would like to believe with these two distinct rosters, now it's a case of, okay, well, this may be a co-branded pay-per-view. This is what's going to be happening for the Raw card, and this is what's going to be happening for the SmackDown card. Pretty much stick to it. I think at this point, Survivor Series right around the corner. If there was any time where you want to go USA versus Fox, SmackDown versus Raw, basically Survivor Series, that's the time, that's the place to do it, without a shadow of doubt about that. Let's see, what else we got here? Just looking at what some of you guys are saying in the chat here. Says the carrot cake is awful. That's why I said, man, to each its own. Let's see. Hulk Hogan had 11 back surgeries, both knees and hips replaced. He had a whole lot of shit replaced, man. By the way, and shout out to TJ. TJ said the ratings will be available tomorrow between 12 a.m. and 1 p.m. It usually releases early on Saturdays. So I will definitely keep my eyes peeled, and I will definitely share that on social media as soon as that breaks. I know it's been down the past couple of weeks. If I remember it right, and I'll have to rely on you guys, if I remember it right, going into the second episode, I want to say when the numbers for the second episode of SmackDown on Fox was revealed, they basically had lost 1 million viewers, and it was like, where the fuck did your 1 million viewers go? Like, you couldn't, like, if you're going to lose viewers, I can understand maybe 250,000. But, man, you lost 1 million. Where did that 1 million go exactly, right? Because they haven't come back. I'm curious to see what the numbers are going to be for this week. I think last week was what? Last week was what, a 2.8 or something like that? This week, I'm going to say this week feels like maybe it'll be a 2.57. I'll say a 2.57. The trend, I think, when you go like 6 months from now, 8 months from now or whatever, it's probably going to be maybe the new norm for SmackDown on Fox. It's probably going to be 1.90, 1.95. I think that'll probably be the new norm for them. We'll wait and see. But yeah, for this week, I'm going to say probably a 2.57, give or take. So we'll see. All right. So on that note, nobody's got any SmackDown or rather WWE related questions or even SmackDown questions. If not, I can definitely give you guys some quick programming notes, let you all know what's going to be happening next batch of shows here. So Saturday. Let's start with Saturday. Saturday, we got a new RCWR show that's going to be coming on as soon as Women of Wrestling go off the air. That's going to be fun. Check that out. I love kicking back and reviewing these episodes, man. I just wish my road dog partner, Mish, was with me doing these things, but he is just busy, and he is still a little bit behind, but hopefully once he gets caught up, because I'm very curious what the hell he thinks about what all he's been seeing and what's been happening so far this season. I'm very curious what he thinks about it all. By the way, shout out to Anthony Missionary Thomas from Wrestling Suit. Remember, you can check them out Thursdays, 9:30 p.m. Eastern, Discord and in Mixler. And also shout out to Justin Ripstock. Shout out to John Krauser. Shout out to Freddie. Shout out to Michael Wolf. Shout out to, who else we got in there? Joe Raymond Jr. Shout out to Tony Bing Gaming. Want the latest news, reviews, tips, highlights, walkthroughs, whole 9 yards for Marvel Strike Force, Marvel Ultimate Alliance 3, the upcoming MOBA game, Marvel Super Wars. Tony Bing Gaming, he's your guy to check out. He's got a great Patreon page as well. Did we say shout out to Michael Wolf? I'm pretty sure we did. Shout out to Justin Ripstock. Yeah, shout out to all of these people, man. They are our Patreon members, our familia, the super friends of Lee. Patreon.com/RCWR Show. $5 a month. You can access bonus audio, video content, great majority of which you won't be able to check out anywhere else. So join our growing Patreon community there. I said I had a special announcement, and I do want to get into that. Once again, special shout out to our sponsor for tonight, Gym Junkie. Make sure you show them some love and check them on now. Give them a follow on Instagram as well. Remember the website, gymjunkieapparel.com. Once again, gymjunkieapparel.com. Follow them on Instagram at mygymjunkieapparel. And yeah, in case you had missed it on social media, the RCWR Show has been invited to Chicago in 2020. We're going to be part of the press media, and we are going to be covering the C2E2 event. So I'm very ecstatic for that. Chicago, born and raised, my old stomping grounds. I last went to Chicago for the CM Punk meet and greet at the Pro Wrestling Tees store. What was that? What was it? Was it a year ago? God, it feels like it was a year ago. Was it a year ago? I can't remember because time flies so damn fast, but it feels like it was a year ago, if I'm not mistaken. And I was telling the missus, I said, man, any chance that we get to go back to the Chicago, we got to go back, because there were so many things that we were not able to do because of where we were staying. And anybody that knows a thing or two from visiting the Pro Wrestling Tees store knows how industrial that area is. And we actually were staying in the industrial area, and we kind of feared we were going to lose our parking space. So we pretty much were just, all we had that whole time we were there was the Pro Wrestling Tees store. We had the Popeyes that was around the corner, the Subway restaurant, the Vienna restaurant, and that was pretty much it. There really wasn't anything to do. Anybody that's been out there, staying in a hotel pretty close to the Pro Wrestling Tees store will tell you, yeah, there's really not much to do over there. So this was a nice opportunity that I could not pass up. Not to mention, it also gives me an opportunity to hang out with Mish, hang out with Julian. I think Julian's actually doing it again this year at the C2E2. So it's going to be nice to hook up with those guys and have some fun, do some cool shit and everything. So I'm looking forward to it. I'm really sincerely looking forward to it. That's going to be coming up. We got a little ways away, but it's going to be happening February the 28th through March 1st of that weekend. So yeah, once again, RCWR Show is going to be hitting the road. I'm going to be covering C2E2. Can't wait to come on back home, man. Looking forward to it. Looking forward to catching up with some friends, family, all that good shit, man. It's going to be awesome. Thoughts on AEW playing tonight from 8 to 10 plus AEW Dark. Also, they put on there. Hey, they know that this is not a stupid move. They see what WWE is able to do on Friday nights, and that is just their way of, hey, for you guys that maybe want an alternative, or hey, if you had missed what we did earlier this week, here's another opportunity. I have no problem with it whatsoever. I know there's going to be some fans, and rightfully they should feel that way, where it's, hey man, this night is supposed to be dedicated to said promotion. Why are you all stepping on their toes? And I get that approach. I really, really do. But my whole thing is, why not? Why not? Especially when you have those nights where tonight was definitely one of those nights where SmackDown wasn't banging on all cylinders. And so, yeah, to be able to say, hey, you get to check this out while this show is on as well, right? I don't have a problem with it whatsoever. More variety, the better. And Lord knows there's so much variety that's out there right now. It's not even funny. It's not even funny. Like right now, and as I'm getting ready to end this stream, I can tell you exactly what I'm going to be doing this weekend, and we'll be talking about it a lot more on the Monday and Wednesday shows for sure. But I've got 2, now going on 3 episodes of MLW. I've got a couple of episodes of Ring of Honor. I've got to catch up on New Japan Pro Wrestling. We got WoW tomorrow night, so I'm going to be watching that. I've got not 1, not 2. I've got 3 episodes of NWA Power that I need to check out and see what I've been missing so far. I've been hearing nothing but a lot of good praise. I can't wait to sit down and watch it. I'm hoping that, like last weekend, when it was my very first time sitting down and watching MLW and I was hooked within the first 5 minutes, I'm hoping that NWA Power jumps at me like that. The fact that Jim Cornette is loaning his services to this, it's a very good sign for me, because I know how much of an old school fan Jim Cornette is and everything, especially if you've read his graphic novel. What was it? Real Pro Wrestling Stories. Can't remember that book. I know we were promoting it and we reviewed it as well. So for me, my weekend, and I'm looking forward to watching all of that stuff. That's the thing. I'm looking forward to watching all of that stuff. Impact Wrestling. I don't think Impact Wrestling was new this week. It seemed like they were doing something called This Is Impact, and it didn't really seem as though, I watched like the first 10 minutes. It didn't seem like it was the usual Impact Wrestling show. So I kind of skipped that. If that was in fact the new Impact Wrestling, I don't know anything about it, but when I watched the first 10 minutes, it was like, this is Impact. So that kind of threw me off, but I can't wait to watch those guys, because I liked what they were doing when I was watching the Twitch stream. Yeah, they were on Pursuit, but I was mainly watching the Twitch stream because I didn't want to pay the extra $15 to just to pay for one channel, right? So I'm looking forward to seeing what Impact Wrestling is going to be able to do by its lonesome on Tuesday nights in that 8 to 10 o'clock block that SmackDown used to have. Another thing I'm going to be looking at for this week's SmackDown is I'm going to be paying very close attention to how they did on FS1 tonight. I'm most curious. I would like to believe that with regards to FS1, and I would need to go back and see how other sporting events had did on that channel, like live, not the encores, but original run sporting events. I'm curious how they did on FS1 this quarter compared to SmackDown being on FS1 live for one night only. You know, I have a feeling that even though they're saying one night only, I have a feeling that if the numbers can stay as close as possible to what SmackDown has been doing on Fox the past couple of weeks, if something down the road happens, who knows, World Series, you name it, and they're gonna have to move it again to FS1. If SmackDown can stay in that 2 million viewership, I have a feeling that FS1 could happen more and more and more again. I definitely feel that. So I'm very curious to see how they're doing on FS1, because normally when it comes to some of the shows on there, like Undisputed, First Things First, you know, those shows, it depends. Sometimes they can bring in a 1.5 cable rating. I know everybody's tripping over viewership, but there used to be a time when it was just rating. And for some of these shows, you can still find out how they're doing ratings wise. So you got some of these shows, they'll do a 1 point whatever rating. Others will do like a 0.98 rating or something like that. So I'm most curious to see how much traffic. And this is the other thing, and I'm glad we're still on the air, because there was one thing I noticed about FS1 tonight when SmackDown was taking its commercial breaks that really kind of rattled me the wrong way, which was, well, wait a minute. We've seen Troy Aikman, Joe Buck. We've seen the boys over from the college football side of things. We've seen First Things First. We've seen Undisputed. We've seen The Herd. We've seen Speak for Yourself. Everybody has done their part in putting SmackDown over and everything. And here you are in this prime time spot on FS1. And for me, watching SmackDown tonight, I thought it was so weird that, hey, if there was ever a time to promote your original shows, FS1, this is the time to do it. You've got WWE's universe in the palm of your hands right here. You know, a lot of them got to be into the football, whether it's professional or college. You know, a lot of them got to be into, sports betting and, basketball and all that. Like, this is your time to strike and come in with the commercials for your original programming. And the fact that, I'll have to rely on you guys, but from what I saw most of the night, I didn't see any spots for Undisputed. I didn't see any spots for First Things First or The Herd. I didn't see any of those spots, right? Go on Fox, you'd be lucky if you see a couple of those, but I didn't see that tonight on FS1, and I kind of thought that was really weird, very, very weird, because any other time, and I'm speaking from the standpoint of I'm always watching FS1, so any other time I'm watching FS1, there's always the cross-branding of the other shows, because it's almost kind of like, we want you to stay right here on FS1, don't go anywhere, because we got all these shows, we got your hookup, we're kind of like your ESPN, basically. You see, that's eventually how they're trying to get FS1 to be, right? So, I don't know, I just thought that was kind of weird. Let me know if y'all had peeped out on that. I'm most curious. All right, so other than Saturday for WoW, we'll be live right here and in Discord, 9 p.m. Eastern. Your next edition of the RCWR Show will be coming at you guys on Monday, October the 28th, 2019. Will be coming on as soon as Raw goes off the air. And that is going to do it. Be kind, rewind. Check out previous episodes you may have missed. Available on demand and on the downloads on all your favorite listening platforms, including... we just landed on Pandora, so we do want to welcome our Pandora audience. Happy to be on board. Welcome to the family. Us into Pandora and Pandora into the RCWR Show. Welcome to the nation, the RCWR Nation. Appreciate that. And yeah, that is going to do it. Get at me on Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, Discord. Use keywords, the RCWR Show. All the links you need is in the description of this very episode. For those of you waiting for the audio version of this, give me about 35 minutes to maybe 40 minutes and I will have this ready to go. Much love as always, guys. Appreciate those of you that were interacting in the live chat. Appreciate those of you that's going to be checking this out on demand and on the download. So next go around, wishing all y'all to be safe. Most importantly, be kind to one another. I will see you all next go round. Adios.